In 2012, venture capital went from a respectable $60 billion to an eye-watering $643 billion in 2021. The record set in 2021 still stands to this day. This newfound money led to a record-shattering amount of IPOs. To be exact, there were a total of 1,035 IPOs compared to the previous record of 480. This is more than double the amount of IPOs. Of this money, $5 billion was funneled to e-commerce startups. Some of these e-commerce startups were DTC. This is also known as direct-to-consumer. A DTC startup is a company that sells directly to the customer without going through a retail store. This business model cuts out the middleman and allows companies to invest more money into product research and reduce their prices. This led startups like Casper, Allbirds, and Peloton to think, hey, why not just ship straight to people's doors? Sounds pretty convenient, right? Well, it hasn't been all smooth sailing, despite getting tons of money from venture capitalists, which ultimately led to all of them reaching at least $1 billion evaluation. All three of these startups are losing money. Worst of all, there is no clear path for them to ever live up to their $1 billion+ prior evaluations. This is not only true for Casper, Allbirds, and Peloton. Of the 22 direct-to-consumer companies analyzed by CNBC, over half have experienced a drop of 50% or more in their stock prices since going public. A notable company in this study was SmileDirectClub, a company that in 5 years grew to an $8.9 billion evaluation. 3 years after going public, it is now bankrupt. One of the main problems for direct-to-consumer startups is the cost of getting new customers. When DTC companies like Casper and Peloton started, they relied heavily on digital ad platforms like Facebook and Google. These platforms provided startups the ability to reach millions of potential customers for the fraction of the cost of traditional marketing. Startups were also able to target specific demographics of potential customers, such as age, income, and interest. Before platforms like Facebook, this was not a possibility. Companies were forced to use expensive traditional marketing platforms like broadcast. Traditional marketing is not the most efficient, as it is a numbers game. Digital advertisement also made it easier to optimize, since it is easier to track results. As time progressed, many companies saw the advantages of digital ads and joined the scene. More companies meant more competition. This caused digital ad prices to skyrocket. In fact, Facebook ads increased 89% year over year in 2021. Facebook was not the only platform that saw drastic increases. Google saw a year-over-year increase of 108%. Yes, you heard that right, 108%. A previous customer acquisition of $50 now cost a company $104. This caused the cost of customer acquisitions to become too high for many direct-to-consumer startups. Another reason direct-to-consumer companies are struggling is that the market is now very crowded. When Casper, Allbirds, and Peloton started, they offered unique products like Casper's comfortable cooling mattresses, Allbirds' eco-friendly shoes, and Peloton's high-tech exercise bikes. But once other companies saw their success, they started making similar products. Now there are dozens of DTC mattress startups to choose from, such as Nectar and Purple. The same goes for shoes and workout equipment. This makes it hard for customers to decide. For direct-to-consumer companies like Casper and Allbirds, this competition also makes it tough to keep their customers loyal. If people can find similar products for less money or from a more established company, they might choose those instead. This leads to companies spending more money on advertisements in order to distinguish themselves. Since ad prices are rising, this is not ideal, but is the only way for many direct-to-consumer startups to stand out. The economy is also negatively affecting DTC startups. The economy affects how much people are willing to spend. Right now, inflation is at a historic high, which is making people spend less on things they don't need. When prices go up for basic needs like food and housing, people have less money to spend on things like new mattresses, high-tech shoes, or exercise equipment. For companies like Casper, Allbirds, and Peloton, this is bad news. If people aren't spending as much, these companies sell fewer products. The economic downturn, along with the other issues direct-to-consumer companies are facing, has led to investors becoming very hesitant when investing in DTC. This reduction in capital has led to DTC startups growing revenue at a slower pace and becoming more strict with their capital. When direct-to-consumer startups first became popular, investors were eager to give them money. Investors thought these companies would keep growing fast and eventually become highly profitable. This has not been the case. Without a lot of investor money, these companies have to find ways to be more self-sufficient. So far, they have not. Casper, Allbirds, and Peloton are not giving up, though. They have started to implement several strategies in order to start growing again. One of them is starting to sell in traditional stores, which is ironic since direct-to-consumer startups were supposed to be market disruptors for retailers. Instead, they realized that they need retailers, just like traditional companies, in order to grow. Peloton, for example, reached a partnership with Dick's Sporting Goods in 2022 to start selling their exercise equipment in store. In the same year, Allbirds reached a partnership with Nordstrom. Another strategy that direct-to-consumer startups are using is opening their own physical stores. An example of this is the eyeglass DTC startup Warby Parker. They have built over 250 physical stores where customers can see and try their eyewear. According to their last annual report, which was in 2023, they plan on growing their retail footprint to at least 900 stores. Another direct-to-consumer startup, Casper, has built over 60 physical locations where customers can try a mattress before purchasing. When potential customers try a product before buying, they tend to be more comfortable spending the money. The last strategy that we will discuss that direct-to-consumer companies are using to become profitable is their loyalty programs. Since it is expensive to get new customers, DTC startups are focusing on keeping the ones they have. One of the best ways to do this is by having a loyalty program. By building strong relationships, startups hope their customers will keep coming back and even tell their friends. A direct-to-consumer startup with a great loyalty program is Glossier. They provide program members with exclusive discounts and free items. The future of DTC startups like Casper, Allbirds, and Peloton depends on how well they can adapt. To survive, these companies need to be smart with their money and focus on what makes them unique. They have to make sure their products are high quality, and they need to build strong connections with their customers. For some DTC startups, the future might mean opening more stores or working with other retailers. For others, it might mean focusing on a smaller group of loyal customers instead of trying to reach everyone. The main lesson here is that direct-to-consumer companies need to find a balance between growth and making money. The direct-to-consumer environment has changed a lot. While these companies are facing big challenges, the new strategies that they are implementing gives them a realistic chance of succeeding. Only time will tell if they can continue to change and survive in this competitive market. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe.